Peace Reflection. It's Mama Willow here. I wanted to come on today. I know I have taken a hiatus off of social media. I just needed some time to reflect, and also carbonation. We had a great transition from coming back to Babylon and then coming back to the jungle. So I really wanted to get my thoughts right and get my mind right. And I wanted to come today with you with a message that was on my heart, but also Father Dahudi had given me this message, and I wanted to share with you and my interpretation of what it means for me. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about was, what are you consuming on a daily basis, and how is it affecting your whole being? Because we think that there's this special diet or the special way of living that is what we need to live our ultimate best. But what I found that is actually the people that you have in your life that can be conducive to yourselves or not conducive to yourselves. Okay, and the reason why I say cells is because our bodies are a whole bunch of cells in complete communication with each other, moving around, moving and going, in harmony or not in harmony with itself, depending on the environment that you place it in. And so the one thing that I've learned so far in my journey was that at one point in my life, I was so focused on this special diet. Like, I thought if I eat a certain way, if I dress a certain way, if I exercise, if I do this and I do that, that I will have the ultimate health. I will be vibrant. I'll be on a good frequency. But for some reason, that did not work for me. At one point in my life, I was out of control, and I did not know why I was out of control. I did not know why I didn't fully understand what was going on in my reality. But then I realized it was the people that I had in my life. You see, because I'm in Babylon, right, doing the best that I can in Babylon, and I'm eating a vegan diet, but I have all these people around me that are eating meat, and they're questioning my choices, making me feel bad about why I'm not eating meat. But then when I give them the facts of why they shouldn't, then that's still not enough to make them move. And so eventually the people around you will affect your choice, and I always found myself succumbing back to my old habits. And then another thing that really hit home for me was I started receiving disharmony in my body to where I was actually getting sick and my body was shutting down. And so what I did, I thought I had to go get this special diet. I went to Dr. Sabi, tried to get them herbs, and ultimately what happened, my health got worse. But what I realized, it wasn't what I was eating that was making me sick. It was how I was thinking that was making me sick. And then on top of that, the people that I was surrounding myself with. And so the word that I want to share with you today is peopletarian. That is the diet that we should all be focused on in digesting. And I received this divine message from Master Teacher Dahudi. He created or received this word, peopletarian. And basically, what that means is surrounding yourself with happy mental people that are mentally happy for you, okay? Because if you can sit back and think about the main group of people that you surround yourself with, are they constructive interference or destructive interference in your electromagnetic field, your electromagnetic spectrum? And that is the force field in your heart. And the way that you would know if the people around you are constructive for you is, are you receiving positive vibrations from these people? Are y'all both on a high frequency? Do you feel good about yourself when you're around these people? Or is it destructive interference where it's negative vibes? These people are always focused on low vibrational thoughts. They bring you down. When you hear them talk, your whole mood changes, you see. because we all are a product of our environment. We're all exchanging energy. And the one word I would like to share with you is sex. We are all having sex with everything around us. And what sex truly means is the sacred energy exchange. And you're always exchanging information with people, with the food, with your environment. And then you are taking that on, and then your food is a genetic code. So when you're digesting that food, whether it be actual food, people, the environment, whether if you're in an environment that has artificial lighting, whether if you're taking on water that is polluted with mercury, chloride, and fluoride, you are taking on that genetic code. And what your body is going to do, your body is going to adjust to be in harmony to that environment that you have put yourself into. So if you are in an environment that is not conducive for your very own nature, which is to be a human being, then your body is going to adjust to that. And then that's when you will create disease, disharmony in your body. Then you wonder why you have manifested cancer or yeast infection or bacteria infection or AIDS or herpes. It's because of the environment you put yourself into. But then also think about your thoughts that you are having. Are you having high vibrational thoughts? Are you having low vibrational thoughts? Because that also plays a part in how you will receive disease in your body. And then whatever you're thinking and the environment that you have placed yourself in will manifest that onto your body. So do not think there is this special herb or is this special superfruit that's going to cure you, because all that's going to do is aid the symptoms. But really you need to get to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is your mental capacity, okay? Because we are all God. I am God and you are God, but we are all a character or a piece of God. And what is the piece of God is our astrological program playing out into this reality. So not every astrological program should be intertwined or compatible with one another. So then when you get with an astrological programming that is not compatible or conducive to your astrological programming, that's when you will receive disharmony in your environment, because you are with people that is not on your frequency. And what I mean is by that is think about when you decide you want to level up and you want to start thinking different and being different. But the people that you have close to you are talking about, I miss the old you. I wish you could be like the way that you used to be. But the thing that I have realized is that a lot of times there is expiration to that old part of yourself. And especially if you are chosen, you have come into this reality to learn and to remember who you are. And then once you realize that, you have to leave, that's no longer compatible to you or no longer is going to get you to your higher self. So the family that you had, the friends, the life that you think you had in Babylon no longer fits who you're becoming. You're going to have to let that go. And then what you're going to see is people telling you that they don't understand what you're doing and they talk bad about you. They say all these things that does not coincide to what you're trying to do. But eventually you're going to have to let go of those attachments, because that's what it is. Your family is an attachment. The idea of who you think you are is an attachment. And you have to come into your higher self and let go of what no longer serves you no more. And yes, it will. Sometimes you'll feel that you're all alone, but you're not. You're not alone. You're never alone. So don't ever allow that thought of loneliness stop you from your higher purpose. Because I tell you, like right now, for me, I stepped out on faith. I stepped out on knowledge, because that is what faith is. Don't let no one tell you that faith is something, you doing something without seeing it and knowing. No, faith is you're stepping out on pure knowledge and understanding. Because when I stepped out and left Babylon, I had a pure understanding of what I was getting myself into. And now that I have truly learned about my astrological program, I fully understand what it means to love myself, love my cells, because my body is a group of cells in a unit that is moving together in harmony with itself. Now, when I go on low vibrational thoughts, or if I decide I want to go back into an environment that's not conducive with me, my cells are going to follow that, and then I'm going to see a result of the disharmony harmony in my body by the way I'm thinking. You see what I'm saying? So, since I've taken on this journey, like, I have learned so much about myself, you know what I'm saying? And about my reflections. And the true thing that you must take into this reality is, do not allow people that don't truly understand who they are try to tell you about themselves, and don't try to live your life to try to please others that don't even truly understand who they are. Because how can you love me when you truly don't understand yourself? You see what I'm saying? And the way that you can tell a person's character is by the actions. Because a lot of people know a lot of things, but your action says it all. When you take that action to really leave Babylon and come back into nature and be in harmony to that which you are, then no one can tell you in Babylon what you should be doing. Because they're still in the pit. They're still in that isolated environment, the artificial lighting, the polluted water, the polluted people, the free-range people. They're still over there doing what it is that they're doing while they see you thrive. And so that's why we get on camera and we share our lives with you, because we want you to take on the essence of what we're doing. When you see what I'm doing, and when you hear what I'm saying, I'm making you say that. So when I say I love myself, then you're saying that you love yourself. When you see me in the jungle, when you see this tree, you see yourself like doing that. You see? But I don't want to go off on a tangent, because I really want to put the emphasis on, be very mindful of the people that you have in your life, because they can make you or break you. You see what I'm saying? You might have a plan. You might be prepared to do something great. But if you have people in your life that has a low vibrational frequency, they will hold you back, and you will have to make that decision to let those things go. And it's okay, because when you step out in pure knowledge and objective facts, you can never go wrong. But when you are basing everything about how you feel, and you're basing everything on subjectivity, that's when it can be cloudy for you, and that's when you can second guess your choices, and that's when the lower vibrational people can come in and sway you off your path. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's no special diet. You know what I'm saying? There's no special herb. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind, because I have a actual experience. I actually cured myself from the disease that I had in my body. The doctor told me that I had fungus and yeast in my stomach. And they said, oh, it's because you have an autoimmune disease. And what we know about autoimmune disease is the reason why doctors say that is because they don't know what is wrong with you. So they classify it as autoimmune. But when you have an overload of yeast or bacteria in your body, it's a part of your lymphatic system. So it means there's a clog in your lymphatic system. So therefore, how I equate it to the metaphysical, there's a clog in my thinking. There's a clog to my perception. And the way that you can make sure that that won't happen to you, for myself, is to study your astrological programming. And when I say study your astrological programming, that is study your birth chart. And the birth chart comes from astrology. And astrology is your birth chart. It comes from astrology. And what that is when you came into this reality, the planets and the stars were aligned to fit you and your character. So if you can learn about all the planets and all the signs and then all the houses, I'm not going to go too deep in astrology because I do want to do a video, but for those of you that do have an understanding of astrology, but if you can get an understanding of that, then you will surely know yourself, and you will be able to be a master in this reality because you are a master of yourself. So no one can come to you and tell you about yourself because you know how you think. You know how your mind works, and your mind is connected to your Venus. You know how you are interpreting what your mind is, and that's through your Mercury. You see what I'm saying? And so when you are getting low vibrational thoughts, go to your Mercury. Your Mercury says it all in how you are interpreting this reality. Because you could have a Mercury that's in a water sign, And Mercury does not want to be in water sign. Mercury does not want to be subjective. Mercury wants the facts. Mercury wants the details. So if you can see yourself in this reality, looking at things in a subjective manner and not able to look at it in a clear way, then that should let you know, okay, I need to stop, because obviously this part of me is a detriment. It's a little crack that I need to be aware of. Now, you can't just ultimately just change who you are, but if you are aware of who you are, then you can change the result and what you're going to do. Because at the end of the day, everything is about loving yourself. It's about accepting yourself and knowing yourself. And so with me, my Mercury is in Sagittarius in the 4th house. So I know with my Mercury, I tend to miss the details of things, and then I can kind of be subjective in my thinking. I could take things personal that I necessarily should not be taking personal, or not able to see things in a clear way, because my Mercury's in a murky waters. And like Cancer, the 4th house, that's a water sign. So I like to say it's murky, especially in Mercury, okay? And so then my Venus, it's in Aquarius in the 5th house. Venus wants to be in water signs, and Venus likes to be in Taurus because it's exalted in Taurus. It's an earth sign. Well, mine is in an air sign, and Venus doesn't necessarily want to be there, but it also helps me with my subjective Mercury, my Venus, which is in an objective energy. It kind of balances me out. So with most women, we tend to be emotional. We run on emotions, and the devil loves to be in an emotional entity like the woman. So we have to be very careful with our thoughts, because emotions is like you're emoting something. And sometimes we can be in a state of mind as a feminine energy, and we allow our emotions to take control of the situation, to where we need to step back, put a buffer with our reactions, and then we'll be able to think about the situation and then act upon that instead of reacting. You see what I'm saying? So there's so much to do with astrology, but most definitely you must study your astrological programming, especially when you're dealing with people. You must know who you're dealing with. But in order for you to know how to deal with people, you must learn how to deal with yourself first. Study yourself. And the main planets I would tell you to study is your Sun, your Moon, your Mercury, and your Venus, and your Mars, and your Saturn. Like, those are the top ones, because the other planets, Neptune, Pluto, Uranus, those are the dark planets. They don't really affect your day-to-day activity, but they are just important. But yes, please study yourself at all times. Know yourself, especially in this reality, because in this reality you're creating everything, and you're creating everything through thought. So if you don't know how you're thinking, if you're not aware of how you're thinking, because we're constantly thinking, you cannot master this reality, because that's what it's all about, is knowing ourselves and then remembering who you really are. Because just like I said, I will reiterate it, we are all God, and we are all a character or a piece of God. And what separates us is our astrological programming. But at the end of the day, it's still all God. But I'm a piece of God, and you're a piece of God. And in that, you will know what part of God you are is through your astrological programming. But it's still all the same. You see? And so once you learn that, you can create harmony within yourself, and you can create harmony within your environment. And so when you create harmony within yourself, within your being, disease cannot live there, because your cells can only listen to what you are vibrating on. And if you're vibrating on positivity, then that's what your cells are going to be vibrating on. But if you're vibrating on negativity, and you're always looking at the worst of things, and then you're putting yourself in situations that you know through facts that you shouldn't be doing, but you're doing it anyway. You're creating contradiction, and strife and lies into your reality. Then you're going to play that out in your body. And then that's when disharmony comes and disease comes. And then your cells are in miscommunication with itself. And then just all kind of stuff happens. And you wonder why you got all these diseases. But don't get caught up with thinking that, oh, let me just cover up the symptoms. Don't do that. don't do that. Just get to the root of it, and that is your mental capacity on how you can vibrate on a higher frequency at all times. Because the one thing Master Tahuti always say is there's 2 P's in life. And what is that? And we say pain and pleasure. When there's pain, be happy. When there's pleasure, be happy at all times. Don't let anything alter your frequency that you're putting out, because whatever you're putting out, whatever you say about another, you're saying about yourself. Whatever you're doing to another, you're doing to yourself. So whatever you're putting out out to the universe does not distinguish the difference in positive and negative. The universe is just pointing out what you're putting out, and it's going to give it back to you. So always be mindful of what you are thinking and what you are doing, because for me, I'm a fruitarian, but I'm not necessarily a fruitarian just for the health benefit, although eating on the earth is conducive for my body. But I really eat from the earth because it's a moral responsibility I have to myself, and it also karmic reasons as well, because whatever you do here is going to play out into your next reality. And see, and whatever you did in your past life, you're dealing with that now. You see what I'm saying? And so for me, I choose not to kill another because of the knowledge of self and the information age that we already know that we do not need to be eating animal to sustain. So the question is, why are we still eating animal? Why are we still killing another entity to eat, when we know that we don't need that? Now, while you're doing that, you are setting yourself up for your next reality. And your tail might be coming back as a cow or a chicken. Or you might come back into the next reality, in torture and pain, just like it had to occur for the animal that you allowed to be killed just to satisfy your nature, your selfish nature. Where you're just basing stuff off of how you feel because it feels good and it tastes good, then it must be good for me. But not all things that feel good and taste good is not good for you. And that could be food and that could be people, because I've been in relationships where it felt good, but that person was not good for me. And then eventually it ended up playing out into my reality, and then I started becoming sick, you know what I'm saying? So I hope that, and I know that I have enlightened someone out there with this information, and I'm going to continue to make videos, and I'm so glad that I got on camera today, because I need to open my throat chakra. I need to, continue to do that, because in anything that you do, consistency is key, because, sometimes we start something, and we're like, okay, and then we move on to the next, but if you are consistent, and you are focused, because focus is your true currency. If you are focused, you can master and manifest so much into this reality. So again, okay. By the way, my new name is Mama Willow. It is not Nature Girl Fury. It is Mama Willow, and I would just like to just share briefly that Nature Girl Fury was the birth of who you see now. Like, Nature Girl Fury had come into an awareness of the truth, you see, and y'all have seen the transformation of this part of my journey. And so Nature Girl Fury was just learning and growing and absorbing, and you see me going back to Babylon and coming out of Babylon, and doing all those things, and Nature Girl Fury, she had to go through a transition. And now that I have evolved into Mama Willow. And what that is, it means wisdom and light. Well, that's what I'm making it mean, is wisdom, because of experience, and it also the experience of others that I've seen. Now I have wisdom in this reality. Now I'm even more focused than I've ever been, and I truly have a true understanding of who I am now. So I would love for you to start calling me Mama Willow and take that on as well. Okay? And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below.